morning. For those of you who don't know, my name is Maya Karen. I run a fashion blog called Classically Kept. It does feature luxury, contemporary, and how to style and now natural hair care. So if you were into any of those things, please consider subscribing to my channel. Click the notification bell. That way you will never miss a video. So last week we talked about 9 wearable trends for 2023. Today we are going to talk about 5 trends that are very trendy that you can skip or you can avoid. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first trend that we do not have to spend money on that we can avoid or skip is going to be underwear as outerwear. And we guys all know the video, actually last week we talked about Kylie Jenner and the video or the outfit that she did step out in. I'll put the photo right here. And of course, once she did that, women of all shapes and sizes and ages were trying this trend. There were even some women who chose to do a blog post about it, about their whole experiment. Some chose to do boots, some chose to just do exactly how she was with the heels. Some even mimicked the bouquet that she had in her hand, right? And then of course on the runway you saw the exact same thing. Some designers chose to cover up more and some just went all out. I'm going to show you a couple of pictures and you can see in one of them where a woman is fully dressed. She has on a full blazer and then she has on a matching pair, to me what kind of looks like is underwear or just like bikini bottoms, okay? But as far as I guess you could say the average woman, the woman of a certain age, and really just young women and young adult women, it's just really not appropriate. I know a lot of people will bring up the movie, I think is it called Fame, when they have the dance get up on. They're dancing, they're practicing, they're rehearsing. They're not walking down the street like that. Now in the runway, you will see that a lot of them just have on the bikini bottoms or the underwear with no pantyhose, no leggings, no stockings, no anything sheer. It's literally just the underwear. But you can see that Kylie at least did put on the underwear and then put on some sheer leggings, okay? So really either way is just inappropriate. That is definitely the number one trend that we can skip. This one, I was kind of hoping we would never have to see or deal with again, but for whatever reason, it just keeps resurfacing. And this time they are labeling it as the whale tail. And I'll just go ahead and put up the pictures. I know for me, this was very much the early 2000s. I was in high school. So basically what the whale tail is you have on low rise, which you know is very in, and then you take your underwear or your thong and you put it on top of your hips, and then in the back, since your pants or your skirt at this point is low rise, you can actually see the thong part of it, and then you can see the part that goes down your bum, your backside. Personally, I think we need to leave this where it is. I remember it was Nicole Richie and Paris Hilton. They were the epitome of the 2000s girl, with just how skinny they were, with the clothing that they were wearing, what they used to say, all the juicy couture, all the writing on the butt, the pink and the juicy couture. I think that is a trend that we need to leave where it is. Again, you guys know that I show you photos right here. In my honest opinion, it just reads trashy to me. I think that sometimes when it comes to words and when it comes to certain trends, I think we need to leave them as they are. I will give you a perfect example. The word slut and the female, bitch, female dog. People are now trying to use those words as terms of endearment. I will never refer to another female as a female dog, whether it be an insult or whether it be a term of endearment. I feel like the whale tail needs to stay where it was, and I feel like that is always going to have a trashy or a negative connotation attached to it. And also, just a woman of a certain age, it's just not appropriate, okay? So that is the second trend that we can just skip. The next trend that we can avoid, I'm just going to call this impractical or impractical pieces. And it is going to be, again, if you're into fashion, you have probably seen these. They are everywhere. But it's going to be these Miu Miu boots. I need somebody to explain this to me, because when I first saw them, my immediate response was, I need you to pick a season. Is this winter? Is this fall? Is this spring? Is this summer? I feel like if I was to wear this in winter, my ankle and part of my calf would be fine, but then my toes would be cold. I feel like if I was to wear this in summer, my ankles would be hot, but then my toes would be okay because there's some type of aeration going on. But they just look really weird on the feet, and I'm not even really sure how you would style this in the summer or in your cooler months. They just look silly. It's kind of like, I think at one point we were calling them skants. I think that's when I was in, I want to say middle school, like coming into high school. It was like these long flared out pants, and then they had like a skirt portion attached to it. It's just very impractical and it looks silly, okay? So that is the third trend that we can skip. The fourth trend is going to be multiple belts. There is no need for you to take all of the belts in your closet and just strap them on for one outfit. Just use one belt. You don't need 3, 4, and 5 and 6 belts. I know also what's coming back is like the really thick belt. And then even with that, you will see some women have the thick belt in the middle, and then on top they will have a skinny one, and then on the bottom they will have a skinny one. There is no need for you to wear multiple belts with just one outfit. Now I do know that they do have like interlocking or like woven belts. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you literally buckling 3 belts at your waist or at your hips, because we all know that low rise is in. But you do not need to wear all of the belts in your closet at one time. And the last trend that we can skip, I am going to call this, I guess you could say, novelty pieces, novelty fashion items. And we have seen this time and time again. And it just seems like every year it is getting more ridiculous. And I will give you several examples. The first one is going to be J.W. Anderson with his pigeon clutch. Now, this went viral because this is the same pigeon clutch that, oh gosh, what is that woman's name from Sex and the City? Sarah Jessica Parker. She was wearing it and it sold out instantly. I just hopped on the J.W. Anderson website, or I think it was Saks, and it was like one available. And it's like $990. I am not spending $1,000 to walk around with a plastic pigeon, okay? Silly. J.W. Anderson also has a frog. It's the exact same thing, but it is in the shape of a frog and probably along the same price point. Loewe, they do have like a balloon sandal. I don't particularly care for that, but I know a lot of people at New York Fashion Week were wearing that and they were getting noticed and they were getting photographed. But I'm talking about like the actual balloon pump. It's made out of balloons, deflated balloons at that, literally. Impractical and silly. Also for Loewe, for their spring 2023 line, they had like these pixelated, it was a pixelated t-shirt, sweatshirt, and pants. Don't do that. It's just so trendy. Yes, it looks cool, but you're only going to be able to wear that for a certain amount of time. And for someone who is really into fashion, they're going to know from exactly where you got that from and from what year. It looks cool, but it's just not practical, and it is very trendy, okay? Also, which I don't even know if anybody has seen them, these boots are running for $2,500, but they are Teletubby boots. When I tell you, when I saw these boots, I was just so confused and just so taken aback at the same time, because I'm just like, Teletubby boots, really? Like, I know the whole point of fashion is to push that envelope, is, you know, for you to get your creative juices flowing. But I would really have to question why you are spending $2,500 on Teletubby boots. Another one is going to be from Mischief, the big red boots that sold out in minutes. They were $300. They came in black. I can't tell you the last time that I hop on Instagram and saw those. You basically wasted $300 for a pair of boots that you are never going to wear, you're never going to see again. So really the last category of things to avoid or a trend to skip is novelty items that you know you're only going to wear a couple of times, or that are not going to fit seamlessly into your closet. I'm not talking about like tongue-in-cheek, I'm not talking about like sculptural heels. I'm talking about things that are just very silly. Things that are not going to stand the test of time, right? Or things that are not going to be a very beautiful conversation piece. Things like that is what I'm talking about. I know someone is probably going to bring up Judith Lieber. She does like these novelty, beautiful crystallized clutches. While they are not my thing, those to me would actually be better because they're for special occasion, and that is not an everyday piece. Definitely a conversation starter, not my aesthetic, but I understand those more than I understand the pigeon clutch and the frog clutch. Okay, so kind of like an honorable mention, and I'm going to say, I guess I'm going to call this like excessive. So what I mean by that is I will give you 2 examples. The first one is cargo pants, cargo everything. Cargo pants have been taking over every single, I guess you could say, runway, Instagram, TikTok. You have casual cargos, you have dressed up cargos, you're wearing cargos with sneakers, you're wearing them with Crocs, you're wearing them with heels. They're everywhere. But what I'm talking about in Access is that when you have the cargo pants and they have 100 pockets on them, they have 100 belts on them, they have 100 zippers on them, right? So just in excess. Cargo pants that when someone sees you in those cargo pants, they're going to immediately know, or they're going to immediately see you once and then see you again and say, oh, those are the exact same very busy cargo pants, right? The other one in excess, and this was actually all over the runways for spring 2023, is going to be very, very, very high slits. And it wasn't just for like resort wear. This was for like street wear. This was for like ready to wear. You guys remember that gorgeous Alexander McQueen dress that I showed you? I didn't buy it because of the slit. Your entire side thigh was out, but it's everywhere on the runway. You know how sometimes you will have like a caftan, or you will have like a cover up that might have like 2 slits coming up the front just so it's easy for you to walk, but that slit is typically very high. That is going to be in for summer of 2023, okay? And as a matter of fact, that was not the only dress that Alexander McQueen had on the runway. There was one where I believe the slit is like all the way up to like where the butt is, or like a little slightly above the butt. At that point, that is now a shirt. You don't have on a bottom, but of course, Alexander McQueen showcased it with what else but a pair of underwear or a bikini bottom. Okay, so those are all of the trends right now that I see that we can skip or we can avoid. Let me know which ones you might try. That might be your aesthetic. You might be down for the Teletubby boots. Let me know which ones you are not going to try. Let me know which ones you think are silly. I just want to remind you, here on YouTube, I do upload videos every Wednesday and Sunday. And of course, you know, right here, I'll put my Instagram handle. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, you guys. Bye.